Kaizen training to the team. If you want to train the team, I'll quickly, these are the slides that you can show to the team. Okay, this module I have just prepared as a new addition to here because I've been curating some contents. So I thought, if you want to, how many of you like this? If you want to train your team, what stuff should you train on? And I've prepared a module for that. That's why I have an exclusive module on Kaizen training to the team. Okay, you start with some objective like this. Okay, definition of Kaizen, Kaizen and other improvement tools, Kaizen steps. Okay, something like that. You start so that people get a basic understanding of Kaizen. Okay, and you'll have to explain to them the same thing what we spoke about: input, these 4 M's here, and then output, so that products or services. And QCD is important in this particular. If you are in the industry, in this industry, quality, cost, and delivery is important. Okay. And this is an interesting thing. The output becomes a feedback for the process. How many of you agree with this? I call it as a feedback. The output is a feedback, and that's where the improvement starts. And this is where the improvement starts, right? So interesting this is. So a Kaizen is a corrective action, and it can become the preventive action. So immediately do some improvements. It can be treated as a corrective action also. And you can help them explain what Kaizen, change for the better, Japanese words and all that. And accumulation of small things. You can debate and ask people about what they know. A selection of better means or better method for achieving an objective, an accumulation of small changes, corrective action under some constraints, and there are different ways in which this Kaizen is explained. But then it is important to explain the difference between the small change and the big change, and people will easily understand. For a big change, you borrow money from banks, whereas small change we do within budgets. For a big change, you hire new staffs, small change with our workers, and for a big change, you purchase new machines and skills, and small change, we use our equipment. Now, the way that I told innovation and Kaizen for your consultants, trainers, and coaches was much different from what we tell our employees. Okay, do you see the difference? In which I've explained the same thing in a different language at a bigger level. Okay, Kaizen versus quality control. Both of them are methods changing for better. And you can give an example of bicycle and car. The reason that I'm introducing this training version of Kaizen also in this is it will address the people who cannot comprehend the high level view of Kaizen. So which is better, bicycle or car? Which is better, bicycle or car? Both are better, right? Depends, right? Okay. That is the correct answer. Okay. So if you check this Kaizen versus QC, you have the cycle here, right? And you have a car here. You see, bicycles are easy, no license, inexpensive, and you can go anywhere. Whereas if you see cars, they can carry big load for long distances. Okay, so it depends. Why am I saying this? So there can be small, the Kaizen and quality control is as comparative to bicycle and a car also. Okay, so QC, quality control, is also the system level improvements That's why we call sometimes quality management system. Kaizen is small improvements. Okay, both are required. Let us take a deep dive into Kaizen now to understand. Somebody comes and dashes against a wall. Okay, somebody comes and dashes against the wall. The question here is, the wall gets repaired. The problem is, after hitting the wall, he does a repair of the wall. Is it a Kaizen? Okay, it's simply repairing, right? Many people get confused with this word Kaizen, and that's the reason. For those who are veterans here, please pardon me for this elementary approach of Kaizen. But I wanted to clarify to everyone here, what really is a Kaizen, okay? So he fixed a cracked wall with the cement, and we all agree that, okay. So he puts a temporary solution now. In the first one, he did a repair. Please understand, first one, he did a repair. Now he has put a wood, okay? So that even if it hits wall, doesn't get damaged, the wood will take the shock. Is this a Kaizen? Thinking about Kaizen starts getting into a debate. Okay. So a piece of wood was attached to the wall. Now, so the earlier one was more of temporary solution. Now, for the cause, there is a solution. Okay. For a cause, there is a solution. He puts a brick here in front of the wall to prevent the cart from hitting. Now the question is it a Kaizen? And this is where the debate continues, right? Some people say yes, some people say no. Now, most of them, if you see here, in the first repair work, almost more than 90% said no. In the second thing, when you put wood on the wall, maybe 50-50. Now it is tilting more towards yes and little towards no. Okay. Prevention of recall. Further, a yellow warning line was painted on the floor to attract workmen's attention. Is it a Kaizen? Again, yes or no question, right? Okay. Okay, this is just to trigger our thinking process towards our understanding on Kaizens, which is more important than doing the Kaizen by itself. Okay, if you think this examples are interesting, type interesting, valuable in the comment box. The thinking process towards Kaizen is more important by doing Kaizen itself. Okay, great. So this is a Kaizen time for us. Okay, let's look at some more interesting examples. Okay. The ways of packing oranges in Japan. The ways of packing oranges in Japan. So these are the oranges that are there. The oranges are packed like that. Okay. Are you all able to see the picture clearly? Because this picture, seeing the picture is important to answer this question. Next question. Okay. Okay. Packing one. So this guy is packing this orange one by one like this. So it is difficult to open the net and put oranges. That is, we'll have to open the net and at the same time put the oranges inside also. It's little, he's finding it challenging. Okay. So this guy is thinking what to do. He needs help to put this. Now, if he does it himself, he can finish one net in 1 minute. If you see here, this is how he has packed the oranges, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oranges. So for finishing this one net, which is consisting of 5 oranges, he is taking 1 minute. If this is clear, please type clear in the comment box. I will go to the next question. So the packing 2 is, he is asking for help. Please understand this carefully. He is asking for help. And with cooperation, he increases the output. One person is opening, the other person is putting. So 2 people are used now. That is, we ask, no, give me one more person. And now, with 2 workers, you put 5 nets per minute. With 2 workers, it is instead of 1 net with 1 worker, it is 5 nets. The question here is it a Kaizen? You can type yes or no. All right. Now let me go a little bit in depth. Selection of better means or change the current way of achieving an objective. The question is, can you think of a better method of pack oranges? Now, when you select better means or change the current method of achieving the objectives, he has come up with some tube, okay? In the tube, you can just put the nut and do like this and keep on putting the oranges like this. I saw this picture somewhere in the internet, and then I thought, okay, I'll put this, okay? It's not a PVC tube, it's actually I used a paper roll type of a tube, like in the cloth and all, they'll give that sort of a tube. So this is a selection of a better means or change of current method for achieving the objective. Now you can see this cotton tube, right? Now with 1 worker itself is 5 nets per minute. So is it a Kaizen? Does anybody, let's see if at least a single person says no. Okay, this is a perfect Kaizen. Okay. Okay, right. All right, so most of you agree that this is a Kaizen. Now, Kaizen is a continuous improvement. That is again and again that's going on. Small thing for the change of better. Okay, before I go into this, I wanted to say this. Not my definition, okay? As per Mr. Masaki, mine. If you have a strategic objective of the organization and you break that down into functional objectives, and then each of the function you check the process, and in the process you achieve the either quality, cost, or delivery. If there is an improvement in that, eventually leading to the functional objective, eventually leading to the organizational objective, then it is a Kaizen. Even if you take 2 people, if you want to deliver a better productivity, what do we call as a productivity? Productivity is nothing but man-hour per person, right? The output per person, output per man-hour. Okay. Or some people call microtech, they call OPPD, right? Output per person per day. Right. Okay. Right. So if you see that perspective, okay, even if you get 2 people, 1 person making 1 net per minute, 2 people making 5 nets. From that perspective, do you think it is a Kaizen? That is increasing the delivery time. Now it has increased the delivery time. It has reduced the cost also. It has reduced the cost also. Forget about quality. Okay, it's the same quality of packing, but definitely it has reduced the cost, because if I'm going to pay 500 rupees for one guy and 1000 rupees, 500 rupees for the other person, so 1000 rupees I pay, but then for 1000 rupees I get 2.5 times more output. Okay, now is it a Kaizen? Even if I hire one more person, and if it can more than double my output, yeah, it's a Kaizen. Okay, coming back to the first example. The first example, we were talking repair work. Definitely, we said it's not a Kaizen. Okay. Second is putting a wood on that. That is where it is talking about the preventive method and the corrective method. That is, even if the mistake happens, it doesn't prevent the mistake from happening. It doesn't prevent the mistake from happening, which means that he will go and hit, but it will not cause the effect. How many of you heard about failure modes and effect analysis? These terminologies are discussed there. What is the current control method? It doesn't prevent, but then reduces the effect of the problem. The problem is going and hitting against the wall, and it reduces the effect by putting the wood. But that doesn't mean that the problem is gone. Okay. Now the question is, even if you consider that even the effect, the undesirable effect, the cost is reduced because of that. If you think, you can call it as a point Kaizen. Putting a piece of wood, even if it is not a solution, but if it is reduce the undesirable effect of damaging the wall and creating a cost due to that, maybe you can call it as a point Kaizen. If you agree, you can type agree in the comment box. Okay, and this is a debatable topic, but if you still don't agree with me, that's fine. The second is, of course, if you prevent the mistake from happening, definitely it should be qualified for Kaizen. And that is also a point Kaizen, because this prevention of hitting of the wall, okay, is something like you don't allow the damage to happen. Okay, if that is clear, type clear in the comment box. You can definitely have views on this, but we'll keep talking a lot more about it. Okay, tomorrow we will continue this example. Kaizen is a small change to make something better. I'll just make some statements here. I picked up the garbage and put it in the trash can. I wiped the windows and made them clean. I used a mop to clean the gasoline left on the floor. And I make some statements, and during, even in this, can we do improvement is my question tomorrow. Okay, I picked up a garbage and put it in the trash can. I wiped the windows and made them clean. I used a mop to clean the gasoline left on the floor. Even in these small daily mundane activities, can we do improvements is a question that we are going to ask. And that is the level of improvement that we need to think in the workplace. Okay, with that, I'll just stop sharing the screen